Looking at price and pricing strategies. So there's quite a few pricing strategies that you need to be aware of, and you need to know when they'd be used and the benefits and problems of using them. So cost plus. This is when a business adds a percentage of the cost on top of that cost to create the price. So if a product costs £8 to make and they want a 25% markup, you work out 25% of 8, which would be 2. You add that to the cost, and that will give you a price of 10. It's quite a simple method to use, but it doesn't take account of the competitor's behaviour. So you probably only use this where you don't have very many competitors. I'd say it's probably smaller businesses that use it because it's quite a simple method for them to work out. There'll be people, like say, behavioural psychologists that work on pricing strategies. This one is not a strategy that you'd need a behavioural psychologist to work on. So that's why I say like small businesses that maybe have, a sole trader or one person kind of making the decisions there. It's good because it's simple and for every product you're selling, you get a certain percentage of a markup. Competitive, just matching the competitors' prices or going slightly below that. That is where you have, as the name suggests, a very competitive market. So it would be hard to get sales if you didn't match their prices. It would also be where the product is quite similar to the competitors as well. There's not much to differentiate it. And psychological pricing is when you use, one example is when you use things like 99p to make it seem cheaper. So if you price it at $1.99, the customers read the first number, or it's thought that the customers read the first number 1 and assume it's closer to £1 rather than £2. So it kind of tricks them into thinking it's a bit cheaper, more likely to put it in the basket. It's a bit debatable how much of effect this has. I think customers are pretty wise to that. Penetration pricing is when you charge a low price for a product when it's introduced to the market, when it's launched, and then once you get people buying it, you can increase the price to its normal level. So this works really well with new products, but products you can only do this strategy with products that are going to be repeatedly bought. So anything you buy in a supermarket is really good with penetration pricing, because they're going to come back and buy it. You're not going to be making very much money, if at all any kind of profit, in the introduction phase when you've got that introductory special low price. The time when you make money is when you've got customers loyal to it and then they keep on buying it. It might be in a very competitive market as well, so you have to set quite a low price to get customers to even try it and switch from the product that they're using. Price skimming is like the opposite strategy. This is when you set a high price when the product is first launched. So this will appeal to people that really, really want that product. I'm thinking of iPhones here, people that queue up outside the store to get the latest iPhone. They're willing to pay a really high price. And then over time you lower it, and that's to appeal to other market segments that are not the type of people that would queue at the iPhone store, waiting till midnight to get the latest product. They'd have to, have a lower price to attract them into the market. A benefit of doing this is over time, you really maximize the amount of revenue that you're able to make from different markets, different segments. Loss leader is when you sell a product at a loss, which sounds crazy, but it encourages customers to buy the business's other products. So we see this a lot with supermarkets. They price milk really, really low. They put it right at the back of the store. It encourages you to come in to buy milk from that store, but in the hope that you're picking other products. Also see it with printers, that they're priced quite low, but the cartridges are where they make the profit. Razors, priced quite low, but the blades are where they make the profit. The big thing with this one is you need to have other products that you're selling to do this type of strategy. It's really attracting the customers into the store with the hope they'll buy other products. Price discrimination is when you're charging different prices to different groups of customers. So you might get a student discount. We can see here holiday firms cashing in because they're charging really high prices during school holidays. So charging, not very ethical, but charging high prices to families, I suppose. Here are some other examples, like different types of people, cinema prices there. And then we've got peak and off-peak travel on train times as well. The peak travel will be really expensive compared to the off-peak. The good thing about this is that you can charge higher prices to people that really want the product. So if we go for an example of a train, like someone traveling to London at that time in the morning, they really need to get there, maybe a business meeting, so they're willing to pay a high price. Whereas maybe these people here are just going for a nice day stay out in London, and they wouldn't buy the product unless the price was a little bit lower to attract them in. So you have to, on longer mark questions, you have to justify the use of different pricing strategies. So looking at the benefits and problems in context. So this is a nice little question. Evaluate the different pricing strategies that a supermarket could use to increase sales. They often have this objective of increasing sales. So here's from the mark scheme, just 2 of them that I find students find it hard to analyse. So cost plus pricing. And they've given a definition of what it is there. It's good because the supermarket will know the gross profit for each item sold, so they'll know the costs. However, it doesn't consider the prices of competitors, so it might not lead to an increase in sales. There we go. So making the candidate here has explained what it is, the benefits, the problems. Loss leader, they sell their price below the cost in order to attract customers into the store. They could do this on bread and milk, then tempt customers to make other purchases, the end of aisle offers. However, shoppers are quite aware of this. They could just go into the shop, just buy their bread and milk from there and go to another supermarket to do the rest of the shopping. So that could be a disadvantage, that they actually end up making a loss.